Hello, everybody. Welcome to the second episode of Practically My Monologue. If you're new here, my name is Nina. If you are not, you know me already. Hello, I hope everybody's doing good. I'm doing great. I had a little rough spell about a week and a half ago with some fun depression, and I'm fucking feeling great now. So I know that I always come out of it feeling way better. It's weird, very weird how that happens, and I feel extremely creative. I've done so much shit with pottery, and now I'm filming the second episode of this. I edited the first one, should be up, of course, by now. There's a little bit of issue with the art, just timing wise, no biggie at all. I don't care, but it'll be fine. Very excited to see how it turns out. So that should be going up really soon, and then this one I'll have to edit and all that. But yesterday was Kyle's birthday, so that was really fun. We went and did glow-in-the-dark golf, and we went to the yard house with the huge beers and all that. I had a wonderful Grey Goose strawberry Moscow Mule. Delicious. Like fresh strawberries, fresh mint. It was really good. It was a cute little can type cup too. So fun. And he liked all of his gifts. I'm looking at them right now, and I spent so much fucking money, but I'm very happy because he's happy. But yeah, so it is, 9/11, and it is probably about 90 degrees today. It's also Monday, fun fact, which from a Monday, I'm feeling pretty good, and the traffic was pretty light today, so yay. Yeah, it's 91 degrees, so it's a hot one out there. But yeah, so I'm going to start and just, tell you what I've been up to, and then we'll get into a couple little hot topics or hot takes or whatever. So as I said in that last episode, about the nail salon that I was going to help out at, I've got stories for you, and I didn't even finish the 6 days I was supposed to be there because it was that brutal, but let's get into it. So my first day there, I realized that it was even more disorganized than I thought it was. It opened at 9:30. The boss didn't arrive till 9:30, which is already fucked up. You don't do that if you have a business. So that was already yikes. And also, I don't think that they had trained anyone before, because they certainly had a very difficult time training me, because I couldn't understand what they said most of the time because of the accents. They're from Vietnam, and then also there was some Hispanic ladies there. They were both so pretty too, but yeah, I was having a hard time understanding them, and then they didn't speak very good English either, so that was definitely a fun learning curve. But also, something to point out is I've never been a receptionist before. I've never worked in a nail salon. When I go to a nail salon, I know what I want. I'm like, I want these acrylics, I want this color, and I never do any designs. Or if I'm just getting a pedicure, I'm just getting a pedicure. There's a lot of terminology, and it doesn't help when everybody has their own way of telling me what like the client got. So they'll say, for example, again, don't know anything about nail salons, so this dude was saying overlay, and on the computer it says acrylic, and I know what that is. I'm like, I don't understand what overlay is. Like, is that the dip? Is that whatever? Like, I don't understand. I also didn't know that people get acrylic nails on their toes, so that was a new one for me. So that was just very confusing. I didn't get it. They were really bad at explaining things, and then they also were like downright like rude as fuck. Like this chick, she wrote, God, I wish this was a video podcast too, because I would totally show you guys. She wrote on a slip. They all give me slips so I can type in what that person got, and they're all designated. So like one will say eyebrow/eyelash, the next thing down will say nails or manicure, pedicure, and the little circle which one, right? It doesn't help when they write just the price of what the person got all over, like across the whole paper. So I don't know what they got. There was this older Vietnamese lady who was a bitch. She was a fucking bitch, and I really don't like her at all. She would wave her hands in my face, which my friend Moira, I was on FaceTime with her, She saw her do that. She would slap my hand out of the way when I was trying to write down what she was telling me because she was going so fast, and I'm also, new. She was very, very disrespectful, and I did not fuck with her at all. She would write all over the paper. And then the other Hispanic lady, she wrote like $30 next to where it said pedicures. I'm like, okay, the classic $30 pedicure, easy. Then I noticed she wrote an equal sign with one line through it. What is that? And then a 2 next to it. So it was the equal sign with one line through it, a 2, and then a space, and then a 30. What the fuck does that mean? So there's a menu at nail salons for what you're going to get. I know that, but if you don't write the full number sign, I don't know what you're trying to say. And then she also had never written the number from the menu on there before. Never. Not at all. So then she's like, oh, you confused? Okay. You see how there's a menu right here? Number 2, it's going to say number 2. That means what I wrote. I'm like, okay, thanks. And she did that in front of a customer. It made me look fucking stupid. They treated me like I was really, really fucking dumb. And I'm like, it's not my fault that you can't explain anything. Like, I don't know where we're going wrong here, and I also don't want to fucking sit there for 10 hours and be bored out of my goddamn mind. I'm just sitting there. So fuck off, fuck you, I left. But there were a couple gems that came in there. It was ghetto as fuck. Like, the clientele was not cool. And I'm all down for everybody. I don't give no fucks. But these motherfuckers were ratchet as shit. And it's difficult to deal with people. It don't matter what color you are. You can be ratchet no matter what. But there were some people that were just downright disrespectful and then acting like I'm the one that fucked up their nails. Like, this chick came in my first day, came in at like full 100 miles an hour. Like, I came in here and all my diamonds are now falling off. I spent $65 on these nails and I refuse to pay for them to get fixed. I'm like, okay. See, that's the shit that makes me want to like punch people in the fucking face and be like, oh, so you have an attitude to me because, okay, right, because you've never met me in your entire life and you're acting like this is my fault. Nah, we're not doing this. She came in again and the diamonds were falling off again. So this is out of like 4 days that I've worked there. I did like Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and then Thursday the next week, and then I just quit. But she came in again because they were falling off. And I'm like, you know what? Maybe you shouldn't get the fucking diamonds anymore. Maybe like that's the issue here, because you want to glue this shit on your fucking nails. It's like, I'm all cool with nail art. I think it's beautiful. But if you're having an issue, maybe go somewhere else then. Like, I mean, if they're not doing it right for you, then leave. Because I don't understand why you're copping an attitude with me. But so that was fun. Oh, they made me a list of what I did wrong there on my first 2 days. And then they would laugh and then fix my mistakes. I'm like, oh, okay, cool. Like, you're going to laugh at me and then, fix it because, of course, I should know this even though you never explained it to me. Got it. They make old-ass people sign in on an iPad. They don't know how to do that shit. I barely know how to do that shit. I don't even know how to work this damn recorder. I figured it out, and then Kyle had to show me how to put it on the thing and edit it. I don't know shit about shit when it comes to technology. They don't know either. They don't know. They don't have any fucking idea. And then I'm helping them do this shit, and I still don't even get it. So that was a pain in the fucking ass. It was just a whole ass fucking mess. It was so disorganized. They were so late all the fucking time. They had clients waiting for them at 9:30 when the boss isn't even there yet. It was just ridiculous. It's not how you run a business. I just can't. I couldn't do that shit. The hours were just terrible. It was literally 9:30 to 7. And I'm like, that's cool for people that like want to be here or if you're actually a nail tech. But when you're sitting here, it's a different story. But yeah, so that was a fucking disaster. Not fun. I haven't been doing that for a while. So, because I filmed the first episode about 3 weeks ago, I think. So yeah, fucking ridiculous. But on a different note, resumes like aren't much of a thing anymore. I feel like this is moving on from the nail salon topic, but like that's why I went there and started work, because I couldn't get anything else. I couldn't get shit down here. There's at least 20 places like surrounding me that have my resume. I've applied online at a few different places. I couldn't get shit. When I went to pick out Kyle's birthday gifts at this hobby shop, I saw that they were hiring. So I started there last week, and that's actually been going pretty good. It's very old school, like my last job that I had at a liquor store. It was very old school. Like, I got a time card and stuff. It's ran by a family business. It's local. I love that. So it's been going pretty good. I'll probably speak more on that and the other just like fun little things about that job in the next episode. But yeah, I'm glad that I finally found something, but it's a struggle for real. I think that a lot of shit is changing, and that's a lot about what this podcast is about, just to talk about how I like my views on what the hell's going on right now. Because apparently walking into a place with your face and bright-eyed, bushy-tailed, in a nice outfit and dropping off a resume and smiling doesn't get you anywhere anymore. Because I think a lot of people they don't want to work. Nobody wants to work, which who does, right? But everybody wants to work from home. A lot of people want to do the influencer shit. And that's cool and all if that's your gig, but like, I don't want to do that. I just want to be able to walk into a place, drop off my resume, and get a fucking job. Like, and I did not understand why it was so fucking difficult to get one. It was really, really fucking pissing me off. All of this new change and how people, hire, and also how people just honestly act, and people's, how would I word this? Just people's drive to get things done is completely different these days, and I am not a fan of it at all. Another example I can give you is self-checkout. I fucking hate self-checkout. I hate it. I think that if you want me to shop, which is fine, put everything in my cart, ring it up, bag it, where's my paycheck? Like, I don't understand why I'm coming in this bitch doing everything, and then they expect you to pay for everything. It's like, yeah, I do, but it's like, I totally get why people would steal. Fuck that shit. It's like, I mean, it's not really, it's probably not the company's fault because they're probably lacking workers, but also, why do you have all these fucking aisles? Why do you have and lanes to get checked out in? You have like 15 to 20 fucking, like at Walmart and at Myers and at Publix. Like, Publix is actually a little bit smaller, but they have all these lanes to check people out and no one's working at them. It's like, you should just get rid of this shit then, because I don't understand what you're doing. There's only 2 fucking lanes open. Sorry, I had to burp. And it's all self-checkout. Like, it really pisses me off. I fucking hate it. I hate that everything's online. I hate that an honest day's work doesn't even mean shit anymore. I hate that, blue collar people get shitted on. It's just, there is so much stuff that is absolutely just bullshit that's going on right now. And for some reason, our priorities are just not in line. And don't get me wrong, like, I don't know everything. I could be wrong. I could be whatever, but like, I don't think I am. And I think that all this technology is truly just destroying us. I think it's drawing us farther and farther apart and making everybody basic as fuck. And I'm sick of it. Like, I'm sick of these phones getting in the way of how people actually are, and the internet, and how people, god damn, dude, like the fucking Instagram. I hate Instagram. Like, and I even was thinking about how I wanted to get back on it just to promote the podcast and shit. I'm like, I can't even do it. I cannot be a part of that whatsoever because it's so fucking dumb. Like, here I am, I'm gonna post a picture of my ass and my tits and a cute face, and then I'm gonna sit and wait for my likes to roll in, or I'm gonna post this on my Instagram story even though I just posted it to give it more attention, and then like this, like that, I saw this on my For You page, I was on TikTok, like fuck, like I fucking hate TikTok, I hate Instagram, I don't have any of them bitches. Like, have I made TikToks in the past, especially during like the pandemic? Me and my friend would, yeah, but you just sit there and you fucking scroll and you're not looking up at what the fuck's happening around you. Like yesterday, we were at Bass Pro Shop. Fucking this chick with a dog walked across the street, did not look both ways, and was on her fucking phone. I was about to roll down the window and be like, hey, for you and your dog's sake, you might want to fucking get off your phone when you cross the street so you don't get hit by a fucking car, you idiot. Like, everyone, they're just glued the fuck in. And I'm not a stranger to it. Like, I like to look at my Pinterest shit. I like to plan stuff for my future and like look at cute crafts to do. I'll look at, YouTube reels of like YouTubers that I like. And of course, there's like funny stuff in there. But you need to focus on how much time you're spending on that, because it's ridiculous. It's not funny to have a screen time of fucking 10 hours or whatever the fuck. It's not funny. That's not funny. Look what you're doing. Like, and even people who have jobs where it causes them to be on their phone and be so in tune with social media. I know this is a rant. Get used to it. This is what the whole podcast is about, because I'm just so fed up with how it's just destroying people. Like, and then people are so mad, and what people get mad about, like, people are going to spend their fucking afternoon arguing with some dumb bitch they don't even know in a comment section on a post. Get a fucking life, dude. I don't care. It could be about some politics that's really important. It could be come on. Like, really, if it's really, 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 really important, why are you seeing it on Instagram? Like, your TV should turn on and be like, oh shit, this is what's going on. Like, people want to argue about anything, and you have to be so PC and all this shit. It's like, everyone needs to just shut the fuck up and be nice. And if you can't be nice, be quiet, because everybody, like, these new problems that they have these days is just like, what, we'll start the hot take. I was going to do a different one before I got into this, but since I'm already on this roll, I'm just going to talk about this. This is what my first hot take, like Gen Z and the priorities of Gen Z. I'm ashamed to be part of Gen Z. What we do, I think that, and don't get me wrong, there are good things that our generation have accomplished. Like, we really are adamant about being an activist for, climate change and getting our voices heard, making sure, like, when the Parkland shooting happened, I was in high school, and we were really speaking out about, gun violence and all that stuff. And I thought that was really, good, because I don't think, guns should be in school or around school. I think if there's police officers that I can see that, I've seen there was police officers outside of my high school sometimes, people that have the right to carry them and all that shit. And we won't even get into that topic because everybody's just, ugh. But then, okay. But I don't think, no teachers need to have guns. I don't think so. That's my opinion. But also, who knows? It's getting fucking crazy. So it's getting insane. I never in a million years would have thought that I would get used to seeing shootings at, bars and schools especially, like, and especially schools with young children. I mean, I never thought that I would hear about another. And then MSU, I have friends that at Michigan State University, and that shooting happened, and that was on the news. I'm like, holy fuck, that's hitting way too close to home. Like, and I think that our generation has really definitely spoken out about stuff that needs to be spoken out on. On the other hand, I think that when we are looking at our priorities and thinking that the way that someone identifies as fairy self, or, however the fuck, and you're going to get mad and say that that's a fucking hate crime if someone gets your pronouns wrong. Nah, bitch. Nah. I don't fuck with that. And if y'all don't like it, that's fine. That's my opinion. But, like, that's your priority, is someone making sure that they call you fairy self or them or whatever. And you're going to get so mad, especially with older people. And I think there's definitely old people that are mean as fuck, right? And they're racist and they're not cool. And you expect some 75-year-old woman to understand that what a they them like is, like what a they them person is? No, they're not gonna fucking get that. They aren't gonna get it, and then you're gonna get mad at them and accuse them of all this bullshit. Fuck off. No, like, not at all. I'm not gonna sit here and agree with that shit at all. Like, and don't get me wrong, the LGBTQ community, like, I love everybody. I don't care, but and I don't care who you want to fuck. I don't care who you want to marry. I don't care. But I don't know why we need to just talk about it all the time, especially with like children. Hot take, another one. Let me get a sip. I don't think we should be teaching 5-year-olds about non-binary people. I don't think we should. Not at all. I don't even think that should be in school at all. I think we need sex ed for sure. And down here in Florida, I heard from my new boss's daughter that they're not history is now an elective, which is despicable. And that sex ed is not being taught. That's an issue. But I don't think we need to explain non-binary and gay people, which no problem with anybody. Do your own thing, live your own life. Don't expect me to buy into all of your shit. That's what I'm saying. It's like, we don't need to be teaching children about that, because children's brains are sponges. They are sponges. You can say one curse word. You can slip up and say fuck once. They hear that shit. They're saying it for 3 fucking weeks till they forget about it, or you really sit down with them. Like, it's no joke. We're not doing that. And when I have children, if that's the curriculum, they are not going to that school. I will homeschool them, because we don't need that. That's not important. They need to know how to be nice to people, be nice to everybody, and learn how to share. And learn how to be quiet when you're told to be quiet and all that stuff, and manners, saying please and thank you, alphabet, all that stuff. Great. LGBTQ in schools, and especially with young kids, no, not at all. I don't understand how people can even think that that's important for a 5-year-old to know. Like, it just doesn't make sense. And if I'm with my child and I see a gay couple with 2 guys and they ask me a question, it's like, sometimes boyfriends have boyfriends, you know, but we can leave it at that. We don't need to explain exactly what the fuck's going on, you know, like, oh man, the priorities of this generation, it's like, and then I just cannot believe how technology has I can't get how our generation is just so influenced by this, like, and how, you know, we're talking about mental health and how everybody's depressed. It's like, yeah, you're fucking depressed because you sit on your phone and you look at people and you're judging yourself based on them, which I've struggled myself with. Not fucking cool. No need to do it. Hence no Instagram, right? And that shit's even on Pinterest. And I'm like, nah, I'm not going to look at this shit. It's just going to make me feel bad, you know? And it's like, yeah, you're depressed because you sit on your fucking phone and you don't socialize. Now you don't know how. And I think that anxiety is a true, real fucking thing. I feel that shit. I just got out of a depressive episode myself. I've had a lot of bad things to cause that depressive episode. But I think, I have anxiety. I have social anxiety. I can't talk to people. I'm like, yeah, maybe that's because you don't leave your house and you sit on your fucking phone. Like, if you don't regularly go out and talk to people, of course you're not going to remember how. Speaking from personal experience, you know, like, especially moving down here, I definitely feel a little bit of social anxiety, but I get over it real quick because I know that I'm capable of speaking to groups of people. I know that I can tell a joke. I know I can make people laugh. I know that I can be me and I can be okay. And you just kind of have to push forward and jump over that bridge, get not literally, but like get over it a little bit. You know, it's like everybody's pinning it on, I'm this, or I'm bipolar. And don't get me wrong, there's definitely people that are actually bipolar, but it's like, and more self-diagnosed, you know, like if you're actually diagnosed, then I understand. But I think it's like a no-brainer with like, of course you're depressed. You're looking at shit that makes you depressed. Oh, my bad. And by the way, only thing I have social media wise is Snapchat. And that's because I have a lot of people that I keep in contact with from like old jobs and high school and stuff like that. So, but I probably will delete that once I have some children because it's not worth it. But yeah, I think that the way that our generation is moving is not promising. I think that we're focused on the wrong things all the time, and we're so quick to judge people because they don't understand, you know, going back to non-binary, but like we're so quick to judge people and then, you know, just say that they're fucking assholes because they use my wrong pronoun or dead name, whatever. And it's just like, what do you expect from people? Like, to be nice, sure, to be nice. But when you're forcing stuff upon people, it's not going to work out great. Especially people that definitely aren't used to this new so-called world and way of speaking. Like, no, it's just, I get really just flustered about it because I was in school in a very liberal area, and I was thinking, you know, that all of this was just, oh, it's fine. Yeah, there's just more and more and more and more and more shit coming out about different sexualities, this and that and this and that. It's like, and for some people that really don't want to put labels on stuff, they sure got a lot of fucking labels. Like, I mean, come on. Like, there's new shit coming out every day. It's like, where are you finding this? Where are you discovering, like the asexual? I remember when that came out, I was like, what does that mean? Like, I don't, it's just, I don't even know exactly how to pinpoint how I feel about this. I just feel like a lot of it's bullshit, and that is not needed as a priority when the economy shit, gas prices are high. You know, there's extreme issues in the news. There's typhoons and hurricanes and fires in Hawaii. Like, there's way bigger fucking shit to be complaining about than someone not getting your pronoun right. So I think people just need to know where they stand. And I know that I like to remind myself, I'm not special. No one's special here. No one at all. I think a lot of people need attention, and that's how they think that they're going to get it. And then they make a mistake, and then that's why we have so many people regretting their surgeries that they get when they're in their teens, and they think that they're transgender, which is nothing against transgender people if they're actually transgender. Now it seems to be a trend. Like, people are transgender and non-binary. I'm like, I don't understand how that works, and I don't really want to know. Do your own thing. I'll say hello. You know, I don't care who you are. Just be nice, and I'm moving on. Like, yeah, I don't know. I just think that it's crazy. I think that, again, priorities and what needs to be done is not being done, and we need to focus on way more important stuff. But I also think that, like, going away from that topic more into, again, like, still Gen Z type thing. It's like this whole, like, one night stand, sneaky link, casual sex. Think it's disastrous. And that's speaking from experience, believe me. I think that having casual sex, if that's what you want to do, then do it. Like, your body, your choice. Absolutely your body, your choice. But see, and then that's what's funny about this podcast is, like, I have so many different views. Like, that's why it's like, I totally get that probably some people would think I'm a fucking conservative just from the way I speak about certain shit. But look at the people that are thinking that. And then the actual conservative people, and me being a fucking hippie vegan who does ceramics and smokes weed. It's like, okay. Like, I mean, it's just right, like, either in the middle or it just moves from day to day or whatever the fuck. But I think that if that's what you want to do with casual sex, then do it. But that's not how we were intended to have sex. Like, and don't get me wrong, I don't care. I've done it. I don't really regret it. But I think that there's hormones that are released before, during, after, and you're having sex with them because you hopefully think that they're attractive. I know from my personal experience with any of that, I've always just still, even though they've literally made it clear to me, which is always fun, that this is what that is. This is just me, probably because woman and hormones, all this shit, I still think about futures. I'm like, oh, what if we actually dated? What if we actually, well, it's like, no, not gonna happen. And I think that's why people always, like, from who I've talked to and shit, that's why they always regret it after. I say I don't regret it because I've forgiven myself for being confused at a weird time in my life, blah, blah, blah. But they regret it because it's like, then you're just empty after, you know? Like, when you actually have sex with somebody that you really want to be with, you are with, and you love, it's way, way better than having sex with a stranger. And then it's also just like, there's girls that I don't understand why I can't get a real man. I can't find a real man. And then vice versa with guys. It's like, I can't find a real woman. It's like, everybody's sleeping with each other. It's like, why buy the cow when you can get the milk for free type thing? Like, I mean, you feel empty as fuck afterwards. And then you're not even taken seriously, you know? Like, and I can see it happening. Totally. Like, if that's just what you want to do, fucking at a bar, you little horn up, and then you meet someone, cool, whatever. Cool, I understand. But when you keep doing that, it's just constant unfulfillment, and then you're just left being alone and then wishing you had more. And I get that's not the case for everybody, but I think it's the case for a lot of people. And I think that's why, I mean, I've heard a lot of stuff coming about abstinence and a lot of people not having sex until marriage and stuff like that. And if that's what you want to do, cool. I personally can't imagine that, but I just think there's just so much more to having a one night stand. And like, if you look back at just our primal instincts, I think that you're meant to find a partner, you know, and then feel comfortable around that person. And then when you're just bouncing around from dude to dude, to girl to whatever, like, and like, I get that. If you're cool with that, cool, right? But like, I just feel like there can be so much more to that than just sex. And sex is like, going back to, you know, how I can't believe Florida's not teaching sex ed. Sex is not something to just like joke around about. It's not something that's like, you know, whatever, right? Like, that's a big thing. It's an intimate moment, you know, that's how babies be made, you know. I think that you've probably put a little bit more thought into who's entering your temple, if you will, you know, like, and again, I've done it. I, again, don't regret it. And I think it's good to get a little bit of experience. But like the stuff with, you know, OnlyFans and stuff like that. I mean, these girls be making their bank, right? Like, I can't even hate on them because they be making money. But I think that when they're older and look back, I feel like they might have some different opinions after they're done. But yeah, so that's my take. I kind of wanted to just say that because I'm probably going to bring stuff up like that in my takes on the world and my views a lot. And I know a lot of people aren't going to agree with that. I'm probably pretty sure that a lot of people would probably be shocked by it. And I think that once you become more of an adult and you can make your own opinions, form your own opinions, and choose who you want your friends to be and all that good stuff, it's like you start to think a little bit differently. And I think that's definitely what I've done, especially coming from such a liberal area and a liberal school. They just make this shit seem like it's normal and fine, and it's not. That's what I just see a lot, like on, you know, my phone and YouTube, and I think all of Gen Z is blending together, but there's categories to who's actually believing the shit that people are telling them, you know? So, but yeah, that's my take on kind of what's going on right now. That's what I just see a lot, like on, you know, my phone and YouTube and just the world in general and the news, you know, like you're immediately called out for saying something on accident, like cancel culture. That's similar kind of to what I was talking about, but cancel culture is fucking bullshit. Like, I think, you know, if someone does something fucked up, like rape, murder, you know, they say something really bad, really nasty, I understand losing followings, but like Kevin Hart making a gay joke like 8 years ago and is not able to host the Oscars, that's fucked up, because that would have been a great fucking show. But everybody's got their fucking panties in a bunch about the littlest fucking things, trudging up shit from the past. It's like, I believe that if you went back on your life, there's tons of shit you probably shouldn't have said or could be controversial now. But yet you're calling out a celebrity, you're ruining their career. Do I love celebrities? No, I think you definitely got to be a special breed for that. But I think that cancel culture bullshit is what really destroys people, and not even just celebrities. I think it fucks with people on a level because everybody's so scared. Like, everybody's just, no one, I think it's just being PC has made people grow farther apart. That's the statement I'm going to make. Because everybody's so fucking scared to say shit because they don't want to be offensive. But it's like, I'm offended that you're fucking offended. Like, no one can take a joke anymore. Everybody's like, I'm like, oh my God. Like, what happened? Like, everybody's fucking sensitive Sally. Like, I mean, I'm glad that people, I think that it can be good to be more sensitive, especially when it on like as men, I think, toxic masculinity probably, it is a thing. I think there's, toxic femininity as well. I think that girls can be bitches and mean to men, and I think vice versa. And I don't think a lot of people think about the men's point of view. I know, I talked, this was quite a few months ago, but me and Kyle's sister were talking about this podcast about how men like are lost as fuck, not knowing what to do. And because there's so many independent women, which is phenomenal. Don't get me wrong. I mean, I was raised by a single mom, independent as fuck, right? Like, very. And I think that it's great to be an independent woman. But that, again, going back to that primal instinct, it's like a lot of men, want a family. They don't know what to say to women anymore because they don't want to offend anybody. And I know that, I've even talked to Kyle about, what women have said to him in his past. And it's like, I can't believe that would come out of anybody's mouth. And then just to see how, like, and to know someone that you care about, right? I love him to death. It's like thinking about anyone hurting him. I'm like, oh my God, they fucking said that to you? Oh my God. Like, and I'm guilty. I didn't even really think about, if I just like blocked a dude with no reason, right? How that would make him feel, like, I think that taking men's feelings into consideration, I think that's something that Gen Z has done. That's pretty good. So credit to Gen Z, I think that we've really highlighted how men are treated and how men have feelings too. And it's okay to be upset if you're a man, and your version of upset doesn't need to just be anger. It can be fear. It can be sorrow. It can be all of that, but anyway, going back to his sister and me's conversation, it's like men are confused as fuck because they don't know what to do. They don't know what to say. And they don't feel like they can go to anybody to talk about it. And then just the way that it changed, it's like they don't feel needed, and I definitely have some traditional values for sure. And I just feel like that's sad because they're just trying to do what they feel like is right. And I believe that it is right, to take care of your family and to love, support your wife, and vice versa for the wife to love and support him. I think it's really sad. I think a lot of men probably feel that way. And I think that we should definitely be focusing on a man's well-being, because if you look at suicide rates, I mean, there's a lot of men that we're losing because they don't feel comfortable to talk to people, and they don't know which way's up, especially with this new world and how women are these days. And I just think everybody should just be a lot nicer and put their fucking phones down, because I think that would help. But yeah, that's my little take on the world and some of the issues that are going on right now. Kind of talked about a lot of stuff. I mean, Florida's laws, LGBTQ, men, women. But I got another hot topic for you. I wanted to talk a little bit about, and let me get a sip of water. I wanted to talk about creativity on a more brighter note. I wanted to talk about creativity because I think about this a lot with vast amounts of different ways to produce art, right? So like I've been doing ceramics, I watch a shit ton of stand-up comedy, I listen to a lot of podcasts, I listen to a lot of music, I read books, I draw, I write myself. I draw a little bit, nothing crazy, but only when I'm kind of just scoping stuff out, you know. But I think I kind of had an interesting take on creativity and where it comes from. So thinking back, just looking at, for example, this is where I got the idea, looking at stand-up and comedians, I think that a lot of them, and a lot of them are very open with it in their childhood, trauma. I think creativity, not all the time, of course, comes from trauma. Because some of the funniest motherfuckers on YouTube and on stand-up and Netflix and all that stuff had terrible childhoods, you know, like traumatized for sure. They got just fucked, right? They got dealt like a really, really, really shitty hand. For example, like Ryan Sickler, for you who don't know, he is Tom Segura. And also, if you don't know, just look them up. They're really good comedians. He's Tom Segura's friend. But Ryan Sickler had a really hard upbringing, and he has a different like type of comedic value. Like his shit is funny. His stories, the way that any comedian tells a story is just different than storytellers, than movies, than books. It's different, right? And I've always really related with that because no matter what shitty stuff has happened to me, I'm still making people laugh while telling a shitty story, whether it be about work or my personal life. If it's a shitty day, I can make it funny almost, you know? And he has a really interesting way of doing that. Tom Segura has an interesting way. I just find it crazy how everybody has their different grooves that they're in. But like I'm going with Ryan Sickler as an example, but he had not a terrible, I'm not going to speak for him, but like a difficult childhood. And his comedy is insane. And we look at a lot of comedians and their comedy is fucking impeccable. And you look at how broke they were when they were younger and how long it took for them to come up in the game, you know, like, and I just think that a lot of it stems from, you know, wanting that laugh, wanting attention that maybe they didn't get, and, making their shitty situations into funny stories that they can tell. And I love comedy as that art form. That's like, besides film and literature, I think comedy in, you know, theater, which kind of they go similarly, but those are my favorite pieces of art, you know, like I think. And it also takes a lot of balls, you know, music as well. I can't leave that out at all. But, and when we look at that, very similar as well. But it's like, I think it just really comes from trauma. And that's not to say that people that have a great childhood and wonderful parents, they can't be funny. There's so many, like, Chris D'Elia or something. I think it's D. I don't really watch too much of his, but I think he was on a podcast talking about how his childhood was actually good, but he's still really fucking funny, right? So it's not the case for all, but it's a case for a lot. Even if their childhood was fine, but their parents were nuts, you know? Tom Segura's wife, Christina Pajitsky, hope I'm pronouncing her last name right. I wouldn't be the first one to not. But her childhood was insane. She talks about it very openly and a lot about how she had immigrant parents, how her mom was nuts, how her dad remarried a whole bunch of times, how she was in clubs at like 9 or 10, I think, and dancing to songs about sex and like stuff like that, and smoking cigarettes and doing drugs and all that stuff. And she's funny as fuck. Like, I think it's just crazy. Like, it's either you're going to be a comedian or homeless or a murderer or something, like, to come from like so much shit and then make it successful. Like, I find it really, really, really fucking cool. I also think along with trauma, it can be a form of escapism. Like, I think there's a lot of people, probably maybe even listening to this, it's like, even this is my way of escapism, you know? Sorry if you can hear that yard work, by the way. I'm sure you can probably still hear me, but I think that this is also a way for me to, you know, like I said in the last episode, to be open with myself and just have conversations and just talk out some of my feelings and stuff like that, which I've always liked doing. Big advocated for therapy and stuff. I think that a lot of art is escapism. Like, there's always these kids that I went to school with that would be amazing artists, and they would draw as their escape. There's a lot of bad shit that happened to them, and they use comedy in their, like, I mean, for example, me. Not that my childhood was bad at all. I have my own views on it, but I was usually like the funny kid, and I hated myself for a long period of my life. And I was really, in my opinion, I thought I was funny. I've heard it from other people. That's why I feel comfortable saying it. But like, I was funny. I was kind of a class clown, like teacher's pet a little bit, but class clown. And I think that trauma, escapism make really, really funny people, and it can also go the other way, you know, it can really fuck people up, but I think it can also create really cool fucking shit. Like, I mean, just artwork and like just how depressed, like painters, like, correct me if I'm wrong, but like Vincent van Gogh, like extreme depression, but was a master at work, right? So I just think, you know, like how they say beauty is pain, you know, and all that. I think it's absolutely accurate. And I just was thinking about that one night, how creativity has to come from, like, not all the time, like I said, but from such negative shit, you know? But yeah, I think that almost in a way, a certain amount really frame you as a person and make you who you are. And of course you wish that bad shit wouldn't happen to you, right? But I think it really, really forms character. I think the way I grew up and having a single mom, and we were lower class for sure, lower middle class, and my mom working 3 jobs, me home alone. Not all the time. She was always usually there. I had a babysitter and all that stuff, but that really formed me as a person. Like, I always, that's why I think plus I'm the only child, but I'm so independent. I'm also codependent. It's a mix because, you know, it's definitely hard to explain, but I think it really forms you to have a struggle in your life. And I think that it makes people stronger, because I think that people that have silver spoons in their mouths at all times, they don't. And don't get me wrong, rich people have a lot of problems. Like, when you look at them, it's like, it looks like, I mean, alcoholic mom or dad, and then someone's popping pills, and there's a brother in jail. You know, there's issues all the time with people that have money. So money doesn't really solve everything, but it solves a lot. I wish I had some. But they don't have as much life experience when it comes to struggle. So when the slightest things go wrong, it's like a fucking end of the world type thing, you know? I think a little struggle, little healthy-ish amount of trauma can be beneficial in creating a really strong character, for sure, and for creating art. So I think that's really cool. I definitely just wanted to talk about that. And God, that fucking noise is so fucking annoying. Oh my God. I hope it wasn't going the whole podcast. I tune everything out when I get focused like this. But yeah, I wanted to talk about that, the creativity thing, because I love being creative. I am a Jill of all trades, if you will. I've done beading. I've done ceramics now. I've done theater. Still would love to keep doing theater. I'm doing a podcast now. I've painted. I've done so much stuff, and I don't know if I was looking for something out of it or if I just wanted to do it. But I think some of the stuff, especially my humor, comes from a bit of a negative place. Like, my humor, I think a lot of people would describe it as a bit pessimistic. Not all the time, you know, like I think even if you know me and you're my friend and I'm making callbacks to other shit that we've talked about, you know, it's a bit different, but it usually comes off as pessimistic because of just how I've viewed myself and viewed my life for so long. That's kind of how it comes out. But maybe when I get older, more stable and all that shit, it'll be a different type of comedy or humor. But as of now, I still think that my favorite comedians are fucking dicks, right? Like if you're familiar with Tom Segura, he's almost mean, but not really. And I fucking love that guy because he really tells it how it is, you know? I think another thing to really admire by comedians, especially ones like Dave Chappelle and Tom Segura, not apologizing for fucking jokes. Like, I think that's a huge thing. Everybody's so sensitive these days and stuff. Like, and Jerry Seinfeld. Fucking love Jerry Seinfeld because it's a fucking joke. If you didn't think it was funny, don't laugh. But you don't need to fucking start some shit over it, you know? Like Dave Chappelle and his transgender cancellation or whatever the fuck. Fuck off, dude. It's Dave Chappelle. You're never gonna break him down. You're not gonna ruin his fucking following. You're not gonna take, you know, his shit away from him because of his joke, you know? Like, he's extremely successful. Like, I love how I believe from what I've heard on podcasts, he didn't really apologize for it. Or he just talked it through, you know? But not apologizing for jokes. I think that any comedian that does that is a fucking baller. Because if you can't take a fucking joke, then you can't take life. You know? So, and you know, maybe that's where I'm going to leave it for today. I think I've talked a lot. And I've gotten some stuff out there. I think I've hopefully made it so you guys can get to know me a little bit more, know where I stand just on, you know, kind of how I am and just viewpoints and yeah, so fuck. Oh, nice. That was the second episode of Practically My Monologue. I hope that you enjoyed it. Please stay tuned for episode 3 and have a wonderful, wonderful week, day, and year, whatever. Bye.